Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 653. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. It's Sunday the 19th of 2024.
It's warm outside.
It is stupid hot already. Well, I mean, I think it's probably in the high 80s, but it's so humid here that when it gets hot, it's like walking through warm soup, just from like May to the middle of September. It's just unbearable. But yeah, it's Alicia's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Alicia.
The other L. So she will always be older than me. That's important.
I'll always be younger than you.
I know. Middle child, yet again. Yeah, so I've been outside with the dogs and chasing the cat, who has made it his goal in life to run away as frequently as possible. We got this new pet door that only opens if you have the specific collar that talks to it. But for safety reasons, there's a delay before it comes down. And my cat has learned how long that delay is. And she will walk through at the same time as the dogs. He will walk through at the same time as the dogs. We knew this was a possibility, so I put an air tag on his collar.
And he's gone on walkabouts.
He has. He has gone for a walk across the lake, around, I guess, the lake, earlier this week. And we've caught him outside no fewer than a dozen times since then. So
is he staying in the yard or like sunset?
Mostly-ish.
Okay.
So we're going to build him a little area out there, and hopefully when he gets out, he'll just stay in that area for the most part. I mean, there's basically nothing you can do.
Yeah.
For a determined cat. He's going to get out. So anyway, I've been chasing the cat. That's why I'm all red in the face.
Oh my goodness, Gus.
I don't have a ton this week. I've got some socks and what I'm working on, and that's it.
Oh, I have some finished stuff and some stuff in progress, so I can go first if you'd like. I have made some progress on my stripy lollipop socks. These are Forethought heels, so you can see, maybe, not that side. Okay, on this side, there's a random green line right there. Boop. And that's where the heel will go. So I have the bottom of the sock done. The first one's already done. So just a few more repeats to go. And then another heel. And this pair will be done. I knit on these during the sneaker ball on Friday night. So my 8th graders had like a formal dance, but you wear sneakers, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And they get all dressed up and they buy brand new like Nikes or Converses to match their outfit. And they had a really good time with it. And I watched the bathroom and was just like, hey, there's too many people in there, or hey, we don't go in the bathroom without shoes on.
Ooh, God, that is not something I would think you'd have to tell somebody, but
I mean, you would think that they would leave with their shoes, yet there were shoes left behind. So, I don't know. They're 8th graders. They had a good time. I had a good time. I tried to drop it like it was hot, and then my knees were like, you are no longer in 8th grade.
You are in your 40s, my friend.
You are heading towards middle 40s. So, this probably was not a good plan. Other things I have on the needles. Just barely.
Wow, that's a huge cake of yarn.
It is. So this is 6 ounces of a Knit Spin Farm bat that I cast on for, I'm trying to look at the needle size, on size 5 needles for the Penta Pillar Pullover by James Watts. So this is my swatch / first pillar. I'm going to get a little further and then block it and measure it and see.
Oh, is that the one that's just like rows seamed together?
Yep, so this will be like a row and then there'll be 5 other rows.
Is it modular or seamed?
It is modular.
Oh, okay, I was going to say, I was surprised if it was seamed and you were knitting it. You do not like seaming.
I do not care for seaming a whole lot. This is a woolen spun yarn, so it kind of expands to fit the spaces, and it should be a nice light layering piece. I think I am going to do it as a cropped, so there's like a 16 length size that goes from your shoulder down. I think that'll be a good cropped one, and I might knit a non-cropped one later. But I'm going to start with the cropped one.
Is it all out of the one?
No, I'm going to pick random other
Oh, cool.
bats that go with this to stripe it. There's also a version where you can square it, like it's checkerboarded. I'm not doing that though, because that is not my jam, but there are some that look really good. It's just not my jam at this point in time. Other things on my needles, I started an emotional support chicken. So I have one tail feather done. The other one is in progress, but Pearl was sleeping on it when I went to leave. And this is going to be my contrast yarn of some old hand spun. That's pretty dense, and I don't know what I would use it. You can see it's got lots of twist in it. I don't know.
It's very round.
Yeah, it's definitely a 3-ply, and some kind of silk content.
It looks kind of like that sea cell blend that we used to spin a lot of.
Yeah, I don't know that it's that, but it might be an Ashford blend. But it's very dense, and I think it will loan itself to an emotional support chicken very well. The commercial yarn that I'm using is Cascade. This is Deep Deep Stash Hollywood.
Oh.
It's got glitter in it.
Yeah, I didn't notice that yesterday.
So it is probably stashed from 2010-ish when I worked at a yarn shop, and we get random single skeins of yarn quite often from like distributors, like people that were
to carry it
in the shop. So that we'll go with that, and hopefully I'll have a chicken by Wednesday. We will see, but that is the goal. So those are the things that I am working on right now. Those 3 things. What are you working on? You cast on something new.
I did. So I'm on my last sweater lot from what I bought last year at SSK.
Good for you.
And it's 7 different skeins from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And so I swatched. Let's see. I was going to knit different ways, or I think that's what it's, separate ways.
By Joji Locatelli.
But I couldn't pick 4 colors together that looked the way I wanted anyway. So I'll knit that out of something else. I'll buy yarn specifically at SSK this year for it. So I swatched with all the colors.
Ooh, I like that.
And then decided I'm not knitting yellow in the sweater.
Okay.
It's a single skein. I'll knit a baby sweater or something, and it can go in Laura's box for her co-workers. So it's going to be this. This is the stripe sequence, I think.
I like it.
I might do something to split up these 2 dark colors here. This like dark navy-ish blue, and then this teal. So I might move one of the lighter colors in between.
Yeah.
So it looks more like an alternate. Just visually, it looks less blocky.
Okay.
So I knit this with no specific project in mind. I just wanted to see what gauge I would get, and I found Tanis Lovely. I don't know how to say her name.
Canadian Tanis.
Yes, she's linked in our show notes, and our show notes are on our website.
She sells yarn and gorgeous actually, I just finished one of her patterns.
Tanis Fiber Arts, is that the same Tanis?
Yeah.
Okay. But she's linked in our show notes. Our show notes are on our website. Our website is TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com. So I knit it just to sort of, and then I use Ravelry's search option to search for a pattern by gauge. Even though technically you can probably make most patterns in any gauge, you just have to do a bunch of math. I'm not mathematically inclined. Even with simple arithmetic, I talk myself out of the right answer somehow.
So you held that double.
So I held the fingering weight yarn double, and the pattern that I ended up choosing was the R&R hoodie, which was something that I don't have a printed copy of it because Michael changed our network so that it's now like WEP 7 encrypted or whatever the hell.
Whatever it needs to be. Let me see if I can find it on my phone real fast.
And, oh well, I've got it on my phone.
I was going to say, let me see if I have my phone.
Yeah, so it's that. She originally wrote it for babies and kids, and then she extended the sizing for adults.
And it's not striped there, so you're
It's
just
not.
gonna stripe
I'm just
it.
going to stripe it as I go. It is written flat. I'm not doing that. Because I'm striping it and I'm already going to have to put in a zipper, to me it just made a lot more sense to steek it.
Yeah.
So I added 3 stitches in the middle, and I'm just gonna, and plus that'll mean I don't have to weave in a million ends from striping 6 colors.
Yeah.
I'll just steek it, so it's like all my problems are going to be solved with that. And I don't mind the steeking or all the finishing that it'll take to get that to work. Putting in a zipper, it's no big deal. Well, I already have some other sewing skills, so that makes it easier for me. Plus, really not having to weave in all those ends is...
That's the main
Yeah.
goal there.
So, I just cast it on, and I'm using the darkest color for the bottom, and then I'll start striping a light with a dark with a light with a dark.
Cool.
And just hope for the best.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I
Do
have
you
plenty
enough
of yarn,
Okay.
like way more than I need, so I'm not worried about that, but just making sure that all the stripes match will be the only
Yeah.
tricky part. So
More on the sleeves than on the body.
And it's a hood too. I haven't decided if I'm doing the hood or not. I may or may not do the hood because it's a weird construction. It's like it comes up and it sort of cups, and then it does this like modular thing here, so that it actually sits on your head correctly.
Yeah, I've done ones like that before, like bonnets like that
Yeah,
before.
yeah. Which would make striping a lot more difficult. So I may skip the hoodie. We'll see. But
or
yeah.
you could do one color for the hood.
Yeah, if I have enough of one left
Yeah.
over, I could.
Or you could use the yellow for the hood.
I could just do like the hem, the cuffs, and the hood in one color.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then all the rest in a different.
Yeah, that'd be cute. With that dark blue.
Mhm.
There you go. And that solves your dark blue problem as well.
Yeah, you're right. Solving problems.
That's why we get paid the big bucks.
Oh yeah. Definitely, I should quit my full-time job for sure. I have some finished stuff, but you said you had some finished stuff.
I do have a few finished things.
A few.
A few. More than
Why
one.
is there an empty Cheez-It box on my floor?
I don't know. That's a good question. It was in the chair if it makes you feel better.
Dogs, that is the answer to that question.
I finished my muscle burrow. So
It's very Mardi Gras.
I think, yes, it does give Mardi Gras. I think I like this side out a little bit better with all the marling. But this is out of yarn that I spun from Into the World in the Spring Spring Sprung colorway on Gray Shetland. And it is a nice, cozy hat. So that is done.
Is that for someone or in the
Goes
goes in the bucket?
I think it might go to Mom, actually. It's giving me a little bit of Mom vibes.
Cool.
With the springishness of it. And then I finished my pattern by Tanis. I just need to weave in the ends. So there's a bunch of ends to weave in, but this is the Floodlight Tee. I am not completely happy with it, but my friend Holly was like, give it a wash in a washing machine because it's linen, and throw it in the dryer after you weave in all the ends and see what you think then. Just because it is linen and silk, I feel like every single inconsistency in my stitches.
Oh yeah, it's definitely magnified with with something that doesn't stretch.
And even with the like where the increases happened, you could see very distinctly. So
Holly's got good advice.
Yeah. That'll fuzz up the silk a little bit more and help hide some of those inconsistencies. So it might be going to you if I decide I don't like it.
I hate this. Here.
I made this just for you. But you tend to like linen silk blends more than I do. And then I finished another sweater. So this is Mystic Square by James Watts. Last time you all saw it, all I needed was the sleeves and all the ends woven in. So I have those now. I just need to reblock it. It was blocked once pre-seaming. The only thing that hasn't been blocked are those sleeves. So I just need to block those a little bit. And now it's 90 degrees out, and I won't wear it for a while, but it will be nice and cozy, because it is a worsted weight crop sweater.
There's some amazing seaming on that sweater.
Leslie did the seaming, because I was like, I don't feel like doing that tonight, so she did it for me. I did leave off the bottom ribbing, just because I like the length as is. I don't really want to add a little bit of length, and it's just rolling under a little bit, which is fine.
Yeah.
I need that, actually. I need to lose a little bit. So, yeah, for sweater, I did not gauge swatch for, and I just kind of made it work. I do like that with the modulars. This was spun out of 3 different colorways of Hello Yarn. So,
and the designer is the same as the modular one.
Yep, James Watts. Absolutely. So those are my 3 fairly large finished objects.
They are.
I'm pretty happy with that.
Good for you.
So, yeah. I feel like it means I get to cast on all the things pre-stash now. But we will see. I want to finish these socks this week. I have a graduation to go to Tuesday night, and some retirement parties to go to. So hopefully I will be able to
get some knitting time in.
Yeah, get these done this week. But we'll see. It's the last full week of school for me. So it's a little chaotic.
But good. You're looking forward to being done, right?
I am.
For the year.
I'm looking forward to sleeping. But also, like, I want to work some this summer on my fleece stash and wash some unwashed fleeces that I have. And
you were down to 1 before Maryland.
Yeah. Now I'm back up to 3.
But one of them is partly Jillian's?
Yes. I bought a 12-pound Corriedale.
Jeez. That's a lot of weight for a fleece.
Yeah. A Peggy Howell.
She's laughing because she definitely told me this already.
Multiple times, but that's okay. And I actually washed like an ounce this morning, and it's dried and ready to sample with. But yeah, I'm splitting it with Jillian Marino. She's getting 6 pounds. I'm getting 6 pounds, but I'm washing all of it. Sharon got like sister fleece, which was 8 pounds. And he washed and carded already 4 ounces and only had like an ounce of loss between the washing and the carding waste.
Wow.
So I'm gonna have a lot of gray fleece, which is fun.
Yeah, no problem with that.
It's probably gonna be at least 3 to 4 sweaters worth. So
I'll take one of those.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. You can take some of it to process. But I am like, I need to clear off space for my carder and get it set up. I'm not necessarily, I probably will card part of that and maybe comb part. We'll see. It's got a lock structure that lends itself to combing. So it's not too long that it would wrap around my carder.
Right.
So it can also be carded. It's right at that like 4-inch staple length. 3 to 4 inch staple length, so it's pretty overall perfect. I do love a good Corriedale. They are one of my favorite breeds of sheep to work with fleece from. So I have that Corriedale to wash, and then a Rupert's Corriedale, which is white, which I'm gonna try to get ready to go into yarn form so I can trick Jude into dyeing it when he visits. And yeah, that is
already got off
about it. And then I have a Tunis, an 8-pound Tunis fleece from last year that I need to wash.
I'll have to go back a little bit on this and figure out.
So if I process some fleece, then I can get fleece out of Jude's guest room, so he has a place to stay.
So I finished 2 pairs of socks this week.
That's amazing, dude. Those are super cute.
So I haven't woven in the ends of this pair yet. This pair is for my dad. And these are, I don't remember the colorway. I'm going to have to look it up. But these are
String
Theory thing. For some reason I keep wanting to say Twisted. I don't know why. These are string theory and the sport weight, the Targi base,
Ooh.
which is really like bouncy, and I like it a lot. My dad has thicker ankles because he had a bunch of surgery when he was younger because he used to be a Memphis wrestler and he broke a bunch of crap. Yay 80s. But yeah, so these are done. I finished these last night, I think.
That's your last pair of self-striping, right?
This is my last pair of self-striping that I bought from SSK last year. I've still got a skein of another Crafty Girl, that's variegated, not striping, and that's a sport weight. And then I've got a skein of Yarn Cafe that I think I was gifted. I can't remember for sure. I didn't buy it because it wasn't the Yarn Cafe didn't vend, but it was in my bucket, so it needs to get knit. I think I'm going to make a muscle burr out of it because it's mostly solid with like a dash of speckle in there, so
that'll be fun.
That'll lend itself. And then I've got one skein of the Modern Daily Knitting yarn.
Yeah.
That
Atlas.
Yeah.
It's their Rambouillet. It's gorgeous.
Yeah. Probably knit some mitts or like fingerless mitts or something out of that. So definitely feeling like things are doable at this point in time for finishing things before SSK.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we are officially 2 months out.
Yes.
So, and then I finished this morning. So I had to put these on hold because...
Yeah. Someone's a jerk.
Yeah, so I had these in this Tom Ben, I don't know, stuff sack. I forget what it's called.
Yeah.
We've had these for, I don't know, a decade, something like that. And
Tom Ben stuff really lasts well.
I use the crap out of it. And it folds down into like a bucket.
And it's clear at the bottom.
Yeah.
So you can kind of see what's in it.
I don't remember. Oh, that's Vegas, I think. So I had it like this. So when you toggle it closed, you have this little opening. And he somehow used his little surgeon teeth to pull out my needles and
destroy them.
Yeah, so it's hard to see, but they're all bent and broken, and like this one is completely bent. This one is more softly bent. So, yeah, these are trash at this point, but I couldn't finish because I didn't actually. I'm sure I have another set of this size needle somewhere,
and borrowed some,
but I couldn't remember where, and it wasn't where all my needles should be, so it's probably in a project bag from when I used them for something else. I'm terrible about cleaning out my old project bags. But anyway, I got some rocket squared ones.
Yeah.
And I finished these. So these are Unicorn Apocalypse from Mustache, and it's like their perfect match or must match sets. Mm-hmm. And I decided what I was going to do is these will be a prize at SSK.
Ooh.
And I just knit them as tubes. That way, whoever wins them
can put in their own heel.
I'll put in the heel for them. But it'll be like I'll have to wait to find out whose size they are.
Yeah.
Or what size to make them. So
there you go.
They're plenty long.
And you have lots of extra yarn.
I have plenty of extra yarn for the heels. So yeah. So these will be a handmade thing that'll go in the raffle at SSK. So, yep, 2 pairs of socks. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, you should be. That's a lot of knitting.
I did some embroidery patches again this week, but I sent them off to Alicia as a birthday
okay.
gift. So, but I took a picture, and I will put it in here. Yeah, so I have that one I'd already made. I have the I Hate Your Guts one, which Suze wants. And then, so I sent her the Maybe Swearing Will Help and I'm an Effing Delight one.
Nice.
So, I did pause before I sent her the I'm an Effing Delight one, because she does have 3 impressionable kids.
Meh.
And then I'm like, they've definitely
They're
heard this
Alicia's
before.
kids, so they've heard that before.
But yeah. So aside from that and wanting to strangle my dog several times a day.
And your cat.
Yeah, and my cat. Luckily he keeps coming back, but it is frustrating. I've never had an indoor-outdoor cat.
You don't really want an indoor-outdoor cat.
I didn't, but like he is his own cat, and there's nothing I can say to change that. Apparently, how far back do I have to go? How far back did I mess this up?
Oh no, you'll get there.
Like way far back.
I mean, we were talking, so. Alright, I have spinning, and I'm going to show that while you figure out
right there
where you are.
I got 2 pearls right side by side.
7
stitches from the beginning.
I applied some fiber and then wound it off. This is Into the World Mithril. It was a club colorway. It is on a Rambouillet. 340 yards of a 2-ply. It plumped up nicely.
It's a nice scummy green.
Yeah, this might go in the SSK auction as well, or just as a regular door prize. I like it, but I also think that it looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So I think that it could go there as well. It is like grays and greens and just really pretty. So that might happen. And then the other thing that I finished is some Into the World Polworth.
That's really pretty.
This is 350 yards of a 2-ply. So, yeah, I'm also happy with that.
It's kind of sea glassy.
Yeah. Neighborhood Fiber Company. I feel like people don't know they do fiber enough. They also do fiber. So, they're a fun person to buy from when it comes to fiber. They just typically do a silk blend and then the Polworth. So, yeah, pretty.
Yeah.
I have some other bobbins to wind off. I broke my dataless winder, so I was waiting for a replacement part, and that came last week very quickly, but I haven't had time to mess with it because I've had after-school activities every day, whether it's been SSK Zooms or sneaker balls or other things going on in my baby showers, and my lawn really needs to be mowed, so I've got to make, and then it poured yesterday, so gotta make time this week for that as well. But after this week I'll have lots of time, so that's exciting as well. And that's been about it. I did apply Zoom today. I took a class yesterday on prepping for long draw, which was interesting. And yeah, it's just been a pretty busy weekend. So I'll have to take a nap later and do some laundry
after we record.
Yeah,
definitely taking a nap.
Yeah.
I got to bed very late last night for some reason. So.
I did too. It was like 1 a.m. by the time I got to sleep, so I was busy chatting and on Zoom with friends. So yeah. What have you been... You don't have spinning, I'm guessing. What have you been reading?
I'm listening to... Ooh, I need to update the show notes because it's not in there. I took a break from Priory of the Orange Tree because it's so many, like, you know how in Lord of the Rings there's so many names and there's a lot of politics and there's like different places
and a lot of world building,
and a lot of the names start to sound familiar and you're like, wait, is this the character did this or did that, right? So for Priory of the Orange Tree, that's where I felt like it was. So I took a break from that and I started An Unkindness of Ghosts. And that is sort of futuristic science fiction.
I was going to say, you don't usually do ghosts.
Yeah, it's the name is misleading. And it is by River Solomon. And it's set an unknown amount of time in the future. And all of humanity's on a vessel. But there's still this, like, race caste system. Very, very amazing storytelling. Really enjoy it. And as far as I believe, River Solomon is also an African American science fiction writer like Octavia Butler, who I was just reading this, which is why I think I got recommended River Solomon. But
Cool.
very good book. Enjoying it a lot. And then I just finished last night a book I've been reading for like 3 weeks off and on. The Raven and the Reindeer by T. Kingfisher, which is a retelling of like a Winter Queen type story.
Okay.
But very good. I've been watching Grey's Anatomy, but broke it up with some Last Week Tonight about public libraries. And I started watching this series on HBO about an expedition. Maybe you'll remember this. I don't. But in 2012, there was this guy who decided he was going to walk 5,000 miles from the west coast of South America to the east coast of South America. So, like, from Ecuador to Belize. And it was
documented.
It was documented, and he was a former Israeli demolition something. Anyway,
Expert.
he was not super friendly, and the expedition is not going well.
Uh-oh.
FYI. But it's a weekly thing, so I have to wait for the next episode.
Okay.
What about you?
The TheKnitGirlls put up a new sequence of videos about plying.
Okay.
And also Teacher Tea with Jillian Marino. So I've been watching those. I was reading Becca Cooper, the third book in the series, and I got from 20 hours down to 6 hours to go, and then I remembered why I didn't like the ending of that book, and I was like, nope, abandoning.
Yeah.
I remember what happened here. So I have some, and then I was listening to Dealing with Dragons by Patricia Red. So I have always pronounced it as weird, and that is not correct. So that was interesting. It's a full cast audio, which is not my favorite.
I haven't listened to one yet with a full cast audio.
Okay, but I do like the book. So yeah, what else have I been doing? Watching Brokenwood, watching Sister Boniface. Leslie came over and we watched the first All Stars episode, and we are caught up on Taskmaster. I'm just trying to fake it till I make it, get through school. I watched Eurovision and really enjoyed Nemo, as well as some other performers. They did a great job, and I was glad that they won. And I've been listening to their song on repeat, The Code. So yeah, that's been about it for me. Just been getting some stuff done. But also scanning 20,000 books at work.
Yeah.
And sending 250 text messages to 6th graders who still owe me stuff at work. So this is a very, very work-heavy time of year for me. I will end up going in a little bit next week to when they issue report cards to collect things. And then we have SSK class signups coming up. All the classes are now listed on the SSK website, which is super exciting. I've been trying to collect door prizes, so if you are a maker of things and would like to contribute a door prize, just let me know. And then Stash Dash starts Friday.
Yeah.
So that is up on our Discord, which you can find through our show notes, which are on TheKnitGirllsWith3Ls.com.
Do you have any Stash Dash goals?
Mostly fleece. I would like to get 2 more sweaters done before SSK, but I am not going to pressure myself on that. My kind of goal for the whole year when it comes to sweaters is I would like 6 new hand-spun sweaters. So I have 2 done already, working on the 3rd. So I would like to have that happen, but we will see what happens. I mean, that's for the entire 2024 year.
Yeah.
So I was trying to do one every other month, and I am a smidge behind at this point. But we'll see if I can catch up.
It's okay.
Pensive Pillar is only like 900 yards.
It's only a contest against yourself.
Oh, 100%. Stash Dash is in general is just a contest against yourself, but kind of life is just a contest against yourself. Like,
Fact.
getting deep into the philosophy at this point. But yeah, I'd like to really. It's funny because Leslie has been kind of in a use what I have mode for a couple of years now. And I'm still been buying stuff pretty regularly, but I'm kind of, since the reorganization happened, I'm kind of in a, I would like to use some of my fleeces and some larger things up. So we'll see how that goes. And just finished some things. So last year's Stash Dash was 100% bust for me because I was so sick. I did have my ice well closed this past week, which was super exciting.
It was very attractive.
Because you have not lived until 800 middle schoolers have asked you what's wrong with your eye in a single day. But it's nice that they care. And I'm going to miss this crew. Our 8th graders will be going up to high school, some of which have been with me for several years, so it's a good crew of kids. The high school's lucky to be having them come up.
I'm sure your former boss will be happy to receive them.
It'll be interesting. I'm trying to remember the kids that are like graduating this year because it's been 4 years since I've seen them. So these are the 2020 babies.
Okay.
So these are the kids
that's the graduation you're going to?
Yeah, I only had for a half year as 8th graders. So that's gonna be an interesting one. For sure. Did you fix it?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yep. I think that's all we've got for this week. We'll be doing our Patreon VKN and
next Sunday.
Yes, and we need to schedule the bail along, which will probably have to be for the following weekend, or the one after that. I don't know because I'm going to be out of town the following weekend. So
yeah, we might have to do it like this Friday or something.
Yeah, we'll have to see what our options are. My computer's like, hey, you need to restart. 4:57. That's 10 minutes from now. All right, well, I guess that's a sign from the computer deities that we're done. So you guys have an awesome week, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.